Hot for TV.
Welcome back to the Doctor Who Too Hot for TV Advent Calendar. Yes, every day this month I've got a different guest and a different annual story under the microscope. And today I'm joined once again by Nigel Bromley. Nigel, how are you?
Fabulous. Apart from some itchy baubles.
Season's greetings to you and your
Well, very much the same to you. Goodwill to all men.
Indeed. So we're going to do a story called The Traitor today from the 1978 annual, which was released in 1977. But first of all, I must know, did you get annuals as a kid, Doctor Who or otherwise?
Yes, I did. So I grew up through the 70s, even though I'm only 38 still. So yes, they were definitely a staple part of my of Christmas sack. They were really interesting to me because they were really the only sources of pictures from the show that you got, because it was on the telly, Welly, one Saturday night and it was gone.
Yeah.
And then you never got any repeats. And occasionally there might be a picture in the Radio Times, but that was it. So it was the only time you could sort of own something with some kind of imagery, even though, as we might discuss, it varied in pencil-based quality. So yeah, I used to get them, and even though they were rubbish, they sort of filled in. You know, Douglas Adams had this idea of the long, dark tea time of the soul.
Yes.
And the interregnum between Boxing Day and New Year's Eve, when the telly was rubbish and nobody was carting you around, you got bored of all your presents. That was the time the Doctor Who annual came into its own in the 1970s.
Right. Okay. So that's when you had to jump into very strange worlds of not quite the Doctor and companions and various enemies never to be seen on TV.
I don't know what you mean, Dylan. And I got to play, bizarrely enough with this one, I distinctly remember playing there's a game in it. I distinctly remember playing that one with my cousin, I think.
Oh, what's the game called? Where is it? Let's have a
bear with, caller. I shall just leaf through my pristine copy. Which you could tell I was dyslexic because I hadn't done the crossword.
Oh, Race Against Time. A Race Against Time.
Oh, you've got to it before me, haven't you? Are you flicking through a PDF?
Yes, I can get there very quickly. I'm in the future.
Hey, I've heard that. Race Against Time. Yes, I particularly remember playing it. And I remember it for the reason that I like the illustration of Tom Baker. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Then there's a weird googly-eyed monster thing, which I think is hilarious in the middle of the...
Oh, yeah, it's like a plant with eyes.
It is, isn't it? I rather like it.
And it's got such points as a cosmic cul-de-sac, back 4.
Chased by robot missiles, forward 3.
Tunnel of Fear, miss 1 turn.
We've all had that, haven't we?
Well, that's very exciting. I might fill my post-Boxing Day with a game of A Race Against Time.
I think you'll love it. You could use your Daypol figures as counters, couldn't you?
And not only can I do that, I will do that.
Excellent. Magsby the Davros with 2 arms.
So then the chances are, even if you don't have a memory of it, or maybe you do have a memory of it, you will have read this story before.
Yes, I couldn't really remember it though. The one I can remember is a bit later on, which is the one with the dark pencil line illustrations, and it's basically deeply disturbing. And I think it set off some sort of trauma response.
Is it The Sea of Faces? Oh my God!
Yes, it is The Sea of Faces, and it's something about the dark pencil, dark shadow up close on an ugly face. It's all a bit disturbing. In fact, the theme of the whole annual, there's 3 or 4 things all about faces and disfigurement and evil. It seems to be the theme for 1978. I don't know what caused that.
Because we're still in a world where facial disfigurement
equals evil.
Yeah.
Yes.
On a few other of these episodes, it's specifically in the Tom Baker ones, it always comes up as a theme that ugly people. There's one called Ex-Rani and the Mutants, and it's all about how these mutated people are evil, but they're not evil. They're the good guys. So
there's a twist.
Yeah. So let's jump into The Traitor and see what this plot has to offer. So Doctor Who takes Sarah to the edge of the Sigmund galaxy to see basically a big display of lights, and they suddenly see a spaceship that looks like it's going to crash on a planet. Sarah looks absolutely haunted by this when you look at the illustrations.
Or whoever that lady is.
Or whoever that lady. Well, I mean, it doesn't look like Sarah, obviously, throughout.
Yeah, who I think it looks like.
Who?
That the first one of her where she says, "Oh, how awful."
Yeah.
Pamela Salem.
It does look like Pamela Salem. And the companion on the back is not Sarah.
Oh.
But when I was a kid, in fact, up until I picked up and looked at this, I just assumed that was a bad picture of Leela.
Yes.
But it's not.
Who is it then?
It's supposed to be Sarah Jane, I guess. And again, it looks more Pamela Salem than...
Oh, perhaps the artist on this had a Pamela Salem fixation.
Don't we all?
Who could blame them?
So the spaceship crashes, and the Doctor and Sarah help a guy called Samos.
I've just torn the page.
Oh no, not pristine anymore.
I've had that 40 years, Dylan.
So Zemos, a guy called Zemos, helps them pull the other survivors from the crash, which we don't really hear much about those other survivors again.
No. Now, interestingly, I'm going to talk about the illustrations, darling. There's some very nice illustrations of Tom Baker sat on some rocks from Hand of Fear, I think. Or Brain of Morbius, someone tell me, but looking very good. And then there's a panel on the second page 44 where it says Doctor Who, snigger, Doctor Who and Sarah help to carry the survivors clear. If you look down at the panel, it looks like it's unfinished. There's no tail in his face.
Yeah, it's very odd. It is. And there's a couple of spots of this where he looks a bit like a tramp. On the first page, the bottom right, I don't know who that man is, but he's just some sort of meth-drinking hobo, I would think. Which, could have been Tom Baker in the 70s, I suppose.
I suppose it could be, yes.
So they're worried that the Locans are going to come. The Locans, we've not heard of them before, but there we go. We get one panel that's just one finger pointing, going, here they are, run, which is definitely the artist going, how little drawing can I get away with on this panel?
They almost, in that panel, don't bother with the bottom half of it. There's just nothing.
There's a few of them where they're very much artists' impressions.
I think the artwork has an impressionistic feel to it, which I want to discuss.
Well, exactly. The Locans come and they destroy the ship. And Doctor Who goes, my name is Doctor Who. I'd be pleased if you could explain all this to me, which isn't the most doctorish of sentences. It's certainly not a Fourth Doctor sentence. They've been held captive. Apparently, spaceships crash here, full of scientists, and they're held in place by the Locans' robot guards. We never see a robot guard, though, do we?
No, because they're too difficult to draw. Hey up, Mr. Locans are coming. I think Ken Dodd should have narrated this.
Well, there is an audio version, which I think John Coleshaw reads it.
Does he?
The Doctor immediately does some gadgetry to like a door and twists some levers.
And it says... Brrr.
Yeah. It does, and that destroys the robots. Now,
yes.
This is a planet full of scientists. I'm sure they could have given that a go at some point, because it doesn't exactly look like one of those tasks that only the Doctor can do. You're not a very good scientist if you can't operate a door or a lever.
And I like the one where he's bending down saying, the old screwdriver opened better locks than this. That vaguely feels a bit Tom Bakery, doesn't it?
It does, just about. And we do get into this thing of like, there are some lovely images here as well. Like the spaceship coming back. There's a sunset over this alien landscape.
It's a bit Star Warsy, doesn't it? It looks a bit like Tatooine.
Yeah, it does. It looks exactly like that. So this spaceship comes back to service the robots, and the scientists basically attack the people on the spaceship. And there's quite a graphic thing of basically one of them getting their head bashed in with a thunk. To give this story its credit, in most annual stories, that is where it would end. It'd be like, they freed them, but the Doctor and Sarah, they're very pleased with themselves, aren't they? That they've helped these people, these oppressed people off this planet.
Yes.
And
a particularly ugly looking one in the bottom left panel.
But the plot twist comes. You fool. Those men are no scientists. They are liars and psychotic killers. They are totally and permanently insane. Which
Yeah.
So it turns out that on this planet, people wear their mental health physically. So if you've got good mental health, you're beautiful. If you've got bad mental health, you're an ugly, ugly monster.
What does that make you and I?
But this special planet where they cart them all off to is where the radiation quells their bad mental health and their evilness.
Malformities is the word they use.
Yes, well, exactly.
Savage murderers whose evil is apparent in their very appearance.
And it is because they've given them little fangs and funny eyes and a wrinkly face.
Yeah, but a good head of hair, so it's not all bad, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have a good head of hair. So
No, I don't. I don't know. That's my malevolence showing.
Doctor Who realizes what a fool he's been. The spaceship has taken off, so they call them back and goes, "We really need your help." But first, they can't respond. They just go "Ka-cree" because they've turned into monsters.
Oh, I wanted to say that.
You can say it if you want.
Might do later. In which case, I'm going to say, I think that the next panel really looks like Tom when he's earnest and urgent, and it just says it's no use. They must have reverted, and that's a really good panel, I think.
Yeah, it is. I can't quite place it, but there's definitely a reference
Genesis.
photo. Is it Genesis?
Oh, there you go. This one. Somebody else will correct us, but in my head, it's Genesis.
Then something happens with the three suns of this world, or whatever it is, and the radiation blasts onto them, and they turn back to normal.
Basically, the sun rises or sets or something, doesn't it? Just in the nick of time.
And so they come back, and they are suddenly like, "Oh my god, it's a trap!" And plot twist: who's the traitor?
The Doctor.
Shocking.
I know. Didn't like that.
No,
that shitted my fragile view of the Doctor.
Exactly, it's ruined the show for me.
A bit like the Invasion of Time.
No, I never watched the Invasion of Time.
I just watched the last 2 episodes. I quite like them. I like them wandering around inside the TARDIS with the Cockney. It's a new strain of Sontarans, isn't it? The Cockney Sontaran.
Yeah. Very good at invading and driving cabs.
Yeah, exactly.
The story's about to end, and I would expect actually the Doctor to fix it all so they can all fly off together. But the Doctor just goes, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, I can't help you," and disappears. And that's the end of the story.
He just gives up, doesn't he? He's basically pretty ineffectual. He gives up. However, for those modern youngsters amongst us, it's very nice to see he sheds a tear in the last panel, doesn't he?
He does have a little cry.
Take that, Shooty Gatwa.
Yes.
And, of course, Sarah has changed what she looks like again.
She's looking a bit more like Romana. Or Nanette Newman. I'm not sure.
She finishes off by going, "Don't worry, Doctor, they'll be happy enough. They'll find their freedom, won't they?" And the Doctor just goes, "I hope so." It's a very un-Doctorish ending to a story.
The whole story is un-Doctor Who-y, really.
Yeah.
Because if he wasn't there, which is one of my little measures as a Doctor Who fan, one of my little measures is, if he wasn't there, would anything have been any different?
Absolutely not. In fact,
they would never got off the planet, would they?
No, exactly.
And that man wouldn't have been thucked.
Let's have a little deeper dive into the art, because we've pointed out some frames that work and frames that don't work. But impressionistic is the word you used earlier, right?
Yes. So my starting point was to look at the artwork and think, it looks watercolor based. It's not fine art, so it's not full of detail.
Yeah.
But impressionism is about giving the feeling of the impression of a moment, and that's people like Monet and Renoir. So they use light, they color over the line. You can see visible brush strokes, and they give this sort of fleeting impression of a moment. And I think if you take those as measures of what's impressionism, you look at these panels, actually, that's exactly what they do. The color goes over the line. It seems to be quite fleeting, and it's a moment. So if you're going to be positive, it's nice and it's watercolory, and it's nice for that. But overall, it's quite a sludgy, dirty color palette, really. It's quite beigey with the odd vivid yellow and red, and stylistically I don't think the whole thing hangs together.
No.
And then it actually gets less and less effort in the artwork as you go through the strip until the last panel. So I just get the feeling somebody rushed this in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like they're watching the clock and they're going, "Oh bloody hell, it's nearly 5:30. I need to get home for my tea," and they start to rush because, I mean, they're churning these things out. So I don't think I think it's fair to say there's no great care taken to them.
No.
But there is something very appealing to me about this art because it's just so weird for what we associate with many other Doctor Who comics. Because even like the TV 21 stuff, the TV Century 21, and the Countdown stuff, that's got some fantastically off-brand
Yes.
bits on it.
Yes.
But there's something about the style of it that suits the source material, that suits the show of this. It's sort of, whereas this is, if you pulled away the dialogue and stuff like that and showed it to someone with a vague knowledge of Doctor Who, I'm not sure they'd even know it was that program.
No, no. It's just completely disjointed, isn't it? It's not unified. You've got the Tatooine vivid yellow gas station with the flying saucers, a really lovely piece of work. Well, it doesn't fit with anything else. It's almost like that's been nicked from somewhere. I wonder how many things they reuse.
Yeah, there's definitely a famous one in another annual of Davros's face, but it's got a mohawk instead of his thing.
Oh,
And
really?
as in it's not a Doctor Who annual, it shows up in something else somewhere, which is slightly odd. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some of it was stock.
Yeah.
Not stock, but, you know, the sunset and the spaceship would be usable in many other annuals the world distributors were doing.
And I imagine that some of because you've got a couple of illustrations of Tom Baker, who are that are really good. I haven't done that all conversation, and I'm going to do it again in a bit. And then others like the one from Genesis. Do I have the right? But and then others that are terrible. And then obviously Pamela Sale and Nanette Newman as the companion is very weird.
Yeah. So on page 46, the reference photo of the Doctor is very clearly his title sequence face, which is brilliant. It's great, just how flat and straight on it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder, is there a certain amount of tracing that starts to these images? Because it just feels like whenever there isn't a reference image, they just get him completely wrong.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And interestingly, they obviously know that because they cover him up, or they have him with. There's a lot of him back to the camera, isn't there? Even on page 46, there's 2 shots of him back to the camera.
Yeah, and it's like, is that because it's easier to draw? I
Yeah,
guess
I think
so.
so.
And again, is that a generic figure that they might cut and paste and put in another strip elsewhere?
In fact, the back drawing of Tom on page 46, it looks like he's doing the Morecambe and Wise hand behind the head dance, isn't it? I've never seen Tom Baker's Doctor stand like that. So yes, I think probably another stock illustration I've just grabbed and fiddled with a bit and stuck in.
We need to cross-reference the Morecambe and Wise annual from that year. And
well, it's fun. No, I don't have that. But I will start looking for it instantly. Can I talk to you about something else I found of interest?
Yes, you can.
Because Dylan and dear listeners, you'll be delighted to know what in my what was mint, now slightly torn, 1979. I've still got the corner cutting, £1.35 was the price of that, which is hard to understand, isn't it? But as we live in the years of inflation, right? I made a note and then I worked it out. So here's a bit of double maths. 1977, it was £1.25. 1978, £1.35. 1979,
£1.45?
no, £1.50.
Ah.
Rampant inflation there. I think there's evidence of it. And by 1980, a whole £1.75.
Wowzers.
25p increase. Now, if you remember, one of the reasons that season 17 looked shite is that there was rampant inflation at the BBC, and they're literally running out of money before they finished a season. Could be said to be in there. I then went on and did some online calculations. In today's money, this 1978 annual, which was £1.35, in today's money would be £8.32.
Oh, look at that. I wonder how much an annual costs these days.
Exactly. Don't know.
I should know. My dad gets me one every Christmas.
Still, what, a modern one or an old one?
No, a modern one. He's long given up getting us Christmas presents, but he still gets me a Doctor Who annual every year.
Mhm.
But there we go.
I haven't had one since. I had a Jodie one. That was the last one I bought. You've got a Jodie one, haven't you?
I do indeed.
You Jodie lover.
So what's interesting is the annual for this year is priced $7.99. So it's actually
Well, if there isn't a better advert for rush out and buy it, everybody, it's cheaper than it should be.
brilliant.
Do you have much more you want to say on this story? Is there any fantastic moments for Sarah or the Doctor that really tickled your pickle?
Not really, no. Just to say, the whole thing. There is the big nose people in a story at the beginning of this particular August publication,
Right.
and that's another one about people's faces and.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they've all got gigantic schnoz holes, as they would
Doctor
have said.
Who and the Planet of the Big Noses.
Yes, exactly.
When you do flick through this, there are some interesting stuff. There's a page called Loony Laughs, which
Yeah,
is just, it's got nothing to do with Doctor Who, right? This must be in other annuals.
I like that one. I like there's a one-legged, three-eyed monster and the bus driver saying, "Aye, aye, aye, you look harmless. Hop in." Dear, oh dear.
Would you read the sciencey bits and the myths and legends stuff of these books?
Yeah, yes, I would actually, because actually sometimes that was the better content, wasn't it?
Exactly. And you went back to school in January with some new knowledge of the solar system.
Exactly, and I could tell you about the Gorgon as well. Mythical creature.
I think as I'm sort of coming to the end of this now, it is the Fourth Doctor annuals that are the weirdest ones. They've all got fantastic bits of sort of off-brandness. But I don't know what was being smoked or drunk in the office at that time, or maybe people just didn't care. But it is by far the most removed from the show, I think.
I think you're right. And they are ultimately, because of that, they were disappointing. They promised much on the front cover, and when unwrapped and opened and then leafed through, they were ultimately quite disappointing.
Yeah, but actually really interesting to look at now when there's so much Doctor Who fiction out there that gets it so right. To have these things from a different time where you're like, oh,
Nobody cared, did they?
Nobody cared, but it's not minimal effort that's been put into this. They've tried to make it make sense and look presentable, but just not to the standards that we would expect from today.
No, but I still love them.
Yeah,
in a weird way. I just every year they were a colossal and crushing disappointment. That's my overwhelming memory. And I remember looking forward to, I think it's the 1981 where you have a picture of Tom Baker from the Rebus operation.
Yeah.
And he's not even in his costume. And oh God, that annoyed the shit out of me. Yeah, really.
When I was a kid and I got into Doctor Who and I had only seen a few stories of each Doctor, I got that annual and just assumed, oh, well, at some point, the Doctor dresses like a knight for a season or something.
But he doesn't, it's not explained or referenced.
No,
nothing.
It's just that's the reference photo they've got. We should put that on the front because that year nobody could be bothered to draw anything.
Yes.
And that's 81, isn't it? So
he'd gone by then.
He'd gone, and it's the year that his entire costume had changed. The whole look of the show had changed anyway. Maybe the writer didn't like the burgundy look and thought, I'm going to stick it to JNT with this.
As you know, Dylan, it's the year I still haven't got over yet.
I know. It was ages ago, mate.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to go circling for that. Where is it? Oh, God. And the annual the following year had got his burgundy jump outfit on and then an inset picture. That was my best. That's the best annual.
Oh, so that's the 81? No.
1981, yes. And you've got that lovely picture of him on the front and on the reverse.
On the back.
So you've got a wonderful thing of him. I'm sure somebody else is going to do this annual, so we won't spoil it for them, but it's a good one.
I don't think we've actually done one from that one.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's always next Christmas.
Christmas. That was £1.95 just for those fans who are still looking at the numbers.
Wow, they've really gone up in price.
Right, yeah, they have, haven't they?
Well, look, Nigel, thank you for joining me today to step back into The Traitor from 1978. I'll be back tomorrow in another time, another place with another guest and another annual story. But until then, I've been Dylan.
I've been Nigel.
And this has been Doctor Who Too Hot for TV, the Advent Calendar edition.
Doctor Who too hot for TV.
Incidentally, a happy Christmas to all of you at home.